You know what you want, but you don't have the room for it, or that's what you think. But we'll take care of that. We'll show you how you could do that. And you don't know how to do it. So we'll work on that also. So keep watching. Well, that wasn't much time for a shave and a haircut, but we're here now, so let's get on with this. I want to thank everybody for watching this series, and I know you're not going to be disappointed. I'm going to finish the number 3, 4, and 5, which is right over there. And after that, we're going to get into the how-tos. So if you have any comments about anything, just put them down. Put them down there, and you could subscribe, or you subscribe that way, whichever way it is, and or down. I think it's down in this one of these corners here. But anyway, you know what I mean. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that, and then you could be notified whenever I have a new video coming out. And again, I want to thank everybody for watching. And the first how-to after this one is going to be for tools and safety. So don't forget to watch that. I would like to thank everybody for their generous comments in episode 1. I like reading them. I like answering them. And so keep it up and put your comments down there. So let's get started on this right now. All right. Before I get started, I want to tell a real short story. Now, it's not going to be a long story about railroad history. It's just going to be, about myself. About almost 4 months ago, I started posting videos to YouTube about model railroading, and I didn't really know which direction I was going into. So, and then I started this model railroading for beginners, which I thought was a really good idea, and it's turning out to be a really good idea. And the reason I did that, because I felt that I was helping out the modeler who needs the guidance in pursuing their dream of building their model railroad. So, we're going to go with that. And then I want to give a shout out to a friend that I've known for about 50 years, Steve. You know who you are. You need to get your all your model railroading stuff out of the attic and start playing with it. Okay, I heard from him a few days ago, and he said he was inspired by me doing these videos, and he said someday he was going to get them out. So I wrote back to him and I says, well, start getting them out now and enjoying it, and start playing around with it. So here we go. All right, you already have an idea, so that's where we're going to start at. So I'm going to say you're way ahead of the game. So let's look at it this way. Assume you haven't started anything yet. Okay, you have your idea, and possibly you've got some magazines and you've done a little bit of research and you know what you want to do. So we'll build on that idea you have. Basically, you need to decide where you want to put it and how you're going to do it. And that creeps into number 4 and 5 of the no room and the all thumbs part of it. So, we'll figure out, how much room you have and how we're going to do all of this. So what you have to think about is, how much time do you want to invest in this? Do you want to just, do maybe an hour a week, or an hour a day, or maybe 2 or 3, and then how much money do you want to use? I mean, that's the big factor. Okay, are you independently wealthy and you have no limitations on what you want to spend? Well, I mean, I wish I was that way, but yeah, don't we all? So But that's what you got to think about, how much money you want to spend on it. And even if you don't have that much money, put something away every week, every paycheck, and then let it build up, and then buy what you want to get. And then the next part is, how much effort do you want to put into it? How much detail do you want to go into? And I guess that right there speaks for itself. Okay, and then, are you going to do this alone, or are you going to get help from others? Is there a model railroad group in the area, or do you know of any other modelers in the area that you could team up with to give you a hand, or are you just going to do it by yourself? Like where I'm at, there's nobody close by, so right now I'm doing it by myself. Okay, and then how much space are you going to use? I mean, that's, how much do you have available is what I really want to say. Okay, I mean, you could do things in a real small space, but do you want to do it on a shelf layout? Do you want it to go around the room? Do you want it to take up your whole room? Do you want to do it in layers? And then what scale do you want to do it in? You could do it in small scale, you could do it large scale, or even you go outside and do it out there. So these are all the things you have to think about. Here I go again. I'm going to talk a little bit about another story. About in 1986, I just bought a new house, and it had a nice big basement in it. And I started building my model railroad, and I started really getting into it. And then, my kids were in school, they were starting out sports, and then I started a new business, and then there went the model railroad. So, I didn't have time for it, but I still, had that dream in my head that I wanted to go and continue with that. So, and here we are since 86, what's that, 30 years later. I'm doing this now. I started 4 years ago. So, there's always that possibility, even if you don't have anything or you don't have the time to do it right now, you're going to get into it eventually. Now we're going to talk about number 4 and number 5, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because we're going to go into a little bit more detail later on. So, no room, number 4. Well, there's all different possibilities for how much room you need. To start out with, go small. Okay, we could go for modular or T-track. Okay, in N scale they have the T-track. You could go modular, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. But you could start out with dioramas. I'm going to get into that in a little bit because I bought some ON30 equipment last year at a train show, and the stuff is still in the box. And I'm going to start on a diorama sometime, when I get some time. But anyway, I've seen layouts as small as in a guitar case. I've seen a picture of that, and I also took I think Debbie took a picture when we was at Caboose Hobby. Somebody had one in a suitcase or maybe a briefcase. I can't remember, but I'll put the picture up there. But you could go small. It doesn't matter what. But, you could always do it in a small space. On N scale, you could do it on a door. North Fort Myers, there's a model railroad club called Scalerails. And every year they have a train show. And they auction off an N scale layout that they build on a door. And it is a really good layout. I think they do 3 loops on the thing, and it's worth about $400 or $500, but they auction it off at their show every year. And so it doesn't take a lot of room for N scale. HO scale, you could have a nice layout in 4x8. That's normally how everybody starts. They put a circle, or they put a double circle on there. That's how I started out. I've had 2 circles going around on the 4x8 sheet of back then. I had I just had a homosote on the frame. I didn't have plywood and homosote, just the plain old homosote. But anyway, it doesn't take a lot of room. Just start out small. You could put it on a shelf or anything. Okay, and as far as the all thumbs go, well, it doesn't take a lot of work. I mean, the more you do something, the easier it is for you to be doing it. Even if you're not mechanically inclined, and if you're all thumbs, you know, you could get around to doing it. And if not, then you could buy the stuff ready made. I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers that have ready to go kits. So, or not ready to go kits, ready to go models that are already built up. But as far as kits, start out with something small. Get a small plastic kit or a small laser wood kit. I mean, the laser wood kits look intimidating when you first look at them, and you go through the instructions, but they're very easy. And I have a couple of videos where I've done small kits. One of them was a roof access, and another one was a gas station called Tower Gas. One of them was from Bar Mills, and the other one was a Foscale model. So, you know, it doesn't take much. The more you do it, the easier it is going to be. I mean, when I first started out, I was all thumbs too. Even though I'm mechanically inclined, I made a living fixing equipment. It was still hard for me to start out and build the kits, but once I started building them and got used to it, they got better and better, and that's how it's going to work for you. Just, you know, all you have to do is take that first step and start with something small, and make all the mistake, make every mistake. It's not going to do anything. I got a lot of mistakes that I put underneath the Christmas tree every year. I have a layout that I put underneath there on the floor, and all the old plastic kits that I made that aren't good enough to go on my layout here, I put underneath the tree on around the track there. So it's all right to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And that's how you learn. And the more you do it, the easier it is going to be. So keep that in mind. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and the other videos that I've put out so far. If you haven't done so already, subscribe so you can continue watching the content that I put out and maybe learn something from it, so you could build your layout and enjoy your hobby. I have some playlists down there where you could see some of the work that I've done so far. And don't forget to comment. If you have any comments about this video, or you want to see something in the future, let me know. Let me know what you want me to talk about in future episodes. I'm going to do tools and safety. I'm going to get into track planning and bench work and different scales, and I'm just going to keep on going from there. So I hope you enjoyed it. Keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe over there. Okay. And we'll see you. So take care. Bye-bye. Boop, 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 boop.